to the bold analysis. A cabinet reshuffle has been mooted to integrate Gideon Moi and a member of Odinga's family into the cabinet. A shocking move that, according to me, I don't seem to see its bearing. We honestly appreciate the fact that late Honorable Raila Odinga played a pivotal role in fighting for democracy and stability of this country, Kenya. But from my bold desk, I would want to ask at this point, what exactly should trigger a cabinet reshuffle? And maybe let me ask from emotion scandal. Why do you think Raila Odinga's death should trigger a cabinet reshuffle? Or let's not go to cabinet. Let's try to say, if you work in a company, what should trigger shake-up of the board of management? You know, I'm a bit interested in that. Because if you look at it that way, you'll understand my political argument in this podcast. Kindly subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell at this point. I'm urging Team Kenya. Team Kenya are the ones that are leading in subscription in the last 2 days. Subscribe to our channel because here we do in-depth analysis. We'll not rush with flashy headlines. We'll give it a thought. We'll try to put the pieces together. So even after watching this podcast, you can just watch this, then when you finish kazi yako, and you come back and wait for the next. Because we'll capture almost every perspective of this. And I know that you've heard of this cabinet reshuffle and you've been asking, Kevin, what do you think about it? This is your podcast. And make sure you watch to the end. I saw Fidel and not Fidel. I listened to Boni Halwale sometimes saying that Raila had a soft spot for Rosemary after the death of Fidel.
There are many people who didn't speak who knew Baba. Like I can comfortably, without fear of contradiction, confirm to Kenyans that Baba's choice amongst his children for who would succeed him was not Raila Jr., was not Winnie. After Fidel died, Raila told Rosemary to prepare to become the MP of Kibra. And upon being urged on, Rosemary came for me. And she told me, I would like you to take me to Kibra. And I took her to Kibra in her maiden rally at Kamkunji grounds, which is very symbolic in Kibra constituency. She did not tell me that the father asked her to look for me. If he did, I don't know. She can confirm. If he didn't, then she made that decision herself for whatever reasons. So after I took her back, shortly after she fell unwell, and she went to South Africa. And Raila would go to South Africa to visit her in hospital. And when he would come to Nairobi, he would tell me, your friend has greeted you.
And it was in his view that if he was to groom someone to take over as the next heir to the throne, was supposed to be Rosemary. I heard that from Boni Halwale. But then after he died, a very significant activity, cultural activity, happened yesterday. This is installation of Raila Jr. as head of Raila Odinga family. A ceremony that was symbolized by the cultural practice of shaving the hair. By they, walifaa wanyolewe wote. And let me tell you, if it was done the cultural way, which I believe it was done so, then Junior haizi nyolewa kama mamake hajanyolewa. And it's not like it has to be done in public. Si lazima nyolewa wote. Wanaweza hata na makasi wakate tu padogo tu. Wanyoe tu padogo tu yanguke. Hello, sasa. It was not like, we know it. People who come from the Luo nation know it. So when I saw it, I know some people are shocked. What's that? Yeah, there are practices that are a bit left. So, but someone in the caliber of Odinga would also want to preserve the culture. So I know they're doing it not because like it has to be done, but they also want to remind the Luo nation, this is our culture and we cannot leave our culture. So, and it happens after 4 days. After mtu amezikwa, 4 days. So after this, sasa Fidel anaweza toka, aende kwa bibi yake, and they can do the necessary. The others, pia wanaweza toka. Hata Ruth, sasa anaweza toka, and go do the necessary. And I mean the necessary, I mean the necessary. So that event was part of probably elevating the profile of Raila Jr. I'm going to do an in-depth analysis on this topic of Raila succession in the Odinga family. I'm still waiting for some information that I really want to pick from some Wazais about something there. I've been in talks with a very close friend of Raila, some old man from Bondo there, who's a close friend. Get hold of him so that we'll understand something about it. So tomorrow on Sunday, I'm going to have a very good podcast on that. Now, when I saw the body language of Winnie and Ruto Odinga, I strongly believe that Odinga family should be left kidogo to mourn mzee and to have their peace. It is premature to drag them in the political shenanigans of the hour. We're at a very critical space. I will be so disappointed if tomorrow you go and appoint Winnie as a cabinet. Winnie has to escort the president for some event where then heckling happens. And by the way, they're not still emotionally strong. I want to play for you a speech by Winnie. This speech was yesterday, that was almost days after the burial. And I want you to have a listen and look at Winnie's body language. Yes.
First, I'd like to thank the governors, Migori, Bungoma, and our host governor here. Thank you for standing with us days after the burial. It really shows that you are really Baba's friends. To Joe Migori, half of my memories growing up are in Migori there, at Stella, in my grandmother's house. My grandmother there, she used to have a bull called Basanga. That bull, he didn't like children. So one day I was with my cousin, we were going from my uncle's house to my grandmother's house, and somebody had let Basanga free. So it started coming for us to Little Rock. But my cousin, her father is a Kalenjin. So as she outrained me and made it to the house, I got diverted down to the fence. When I came back to the house, she was eating mandazis and laughing at me. My grandmother picked me up and held me, and I just have fond memories in that place. Thank you for coming here today. That is home, and we're going to come home. So thank you very, very much.
She still doesn't look settled. She still doesn't, and it can't be that quick. Even if you're the chief healer, even if you're the person who will heal very fast. You know one problem, and that was Winnie, one of the person that is being tipped for a cabinet slot, and I'm going to show you something on that. I listened to Ruto Odinga. Ruto Odinga died, Raila died akiwa huko. And they seem to be, they're not under pressure. They're not under pressure for these cabinet things and this and that.
I want to just tell you that I wish all of you would be strong. When my father Winnie Odinga died, he died as a gallant man. He never fell down or got sick to the point that he has oxygen, all those things, or suffered. Baba was just taken to Victoria, to the hospital there in Aga Khan, and he just died. He died a man. Oto kaka dichuo. Jakom bende ochungo kinyi morwako kenyasa gi sati mogo round dichiel. Koro kodwa donje round mar ariyo. Ema koro no wolni to ogeta make to gidhi mana go geta mos to mane ka koro dhi to watero hospital to jogo temo to owewa mos kendo peaceful, very peaceful. Kane waseiko ni 2 days waduogo, ne wasenyiewo nyaka return ticket awabiro. Otho ka jakom ohero kendo otho ka jakom strong. Kinena kan strong, I'm strong, can I not peace? Because no me ateko. And be mi uteko. Ni ijingo. Uninge no mu yiwage samoro maloka tawan. Nitie nyamera moro kane baba otho. To ne oyiwak to wachopo Nakuru, ngeni machani wagole kwa wuotho nyaka Kisumu. To koro ngani yiwak ga to chande to koni sud mabor matin wangeni baba na moto to ngano bukra boka to pado nyamera ni baba umane an mano baba wa moto. Koro pado ne wacho winjo mrima malich. Ne wandala sa tine no ngato manani gi yiwak ne mas ni gi mrima. Okanyal biro ngato ni in ko yiwak ta an men wadwa nitie gima Raila nomulo go chuny ngato ka ngato. Omiana ko nuero kamano jo Migori to gichikwa be une dala maduong'. Andala ne madonge koburu ka oburu ni babana.
As she talks, she's speaking in the Luo, but she looks conserved. There is one problem we make in this country. And I don't know whether we are accustomed that way or that is part of our identity as a country. I don't know. But we tend to look at, even in some solemn occasions, in some personal, we tend to look at our interest first. I know that Raila was a politician and a statesman. But as I said in my previous video, in the evening he had a home, children, grandchildren, a wife, a nephew, and everyone there. Why we are rushing for a cabinet slot at this moment to the Odinga family is because something is cheating us, that something is in our mind that, we are appeasing them, like to know poesha. I think I've looked at the body language. Winnie still looks distressed. And if anything, is Honorable Winnie Odinga. He's an MP in Ayala. I don't think there's so much into the cabinet story. But we tend to think and believe that politics is the only thing. Like there can be no life. There can be no life without politics. Yeah, there can be no life without a cabinet, without a state appointment, without this and without that. I want to show you a screenshot I saw from a friend of Odinga family, Terry Chocolate. My friend Terry is very close to Odinga family. That's actually related to them. He's very close to Odinga family, and she's not someone who needs introduction in this country. I saw a post yesterday. I pray that Winnie Odinga gets the tourism docket for a start. Her father really wanted Kenya Airways to bring more tourists and investors home. His death has accelerated Kenya up the world map. Cabinet reshuffle looming. Yes, I appreciate the fact that his political profile, the political his political profile, I appreciate the fact that it's important to boost her political profile. But I think as a country, we must not be selfish enough just to be looking at, if we give Odinga family this is what we are going to get. And this is how we are going to get away with it. It is in my view that we go back to what triggers a cabinet reshuffle. Let's read some this article I have snippets from this article by Nation. There is a Nation article that really captured the story of cabinet reshuffle from the viewpoint of Moi, and I don't agree with what probably the writers are saying here. According to sources close to the president, the changes have become even more urgent following the death of ODM leader Raila Odinga, the man Dr. Ruto turned to last year when Gen Z protests threatened to hold on power. Odinga's death has left a glaring political vacuum and disrupted the delicate balance that defined Kenya's new broad-based government. Now that Odinga is gone, President Ruto faces the task of recalibrating his unity project to ensure stability ahead of 2027 general election. It continues to say what actually Gideon Moi wants. The coming together of President Ruto and Gideon Moi was organized by Raila Odinga. It is unfortunate that he did not live to see it actualized, said a source familiar with the talks. Other insiders revealed that Mr. Moi is interested in the roads and transport cabinet portfolio, which is currently being held by Davis Chirchir. This could result in Mr. Chirchir, who is a close ally of the president, being reassigned. Commenting on the matter, head of the Presidential Communication Service, Munyori Buku, said, appointment to the cabinet is the discretion of the president and the appointing authority. And I've seen more other updates there saying that part of the deal Nation gathered is the settlement of the 3 billion pending bills owed to Gideon Moi's companies in the energy sector, including for works done for the geothermal development company, GDC. Wow! What should trigger cabinet reshuffle? In my view, we should change cabinet because of incompetence and corruption. But our architecture, we seem to be put that the highest decision-making organ of the body has been reduced to a political tool for convenience of the appointing authority. Because it's a convenient one. I want you to remember, we are getting to a deal with Gideon Moi, not to vie, because Gideon Moi was to vie in Baringo. So Gideon Moi is stepping down not to vie in Baringo. Then with not vying in Baringo, he's given a cabinet slot. Okay, how does that help the country? How is that beneficial to the country? How is that beneficial to the country? I can't tend to establish the objective of that reshuffle. It's not very clear. In fact, it's not there. And I believe the reshuffle clothed us with the Gideon Moe and this and that. This is why I believe that the political advisors around the president are of the opinion to pick one member of Odinga family to the cabinet. I think it is in their viewpoint that if you capture one person in cabinet with a cabinet slot, you are 1 foot inside ODM. It's one way to take over the ODM. And from from now they will be like, remember they say give Junior. I will not expose that because as I promised you, I'll do some analysis on the ODM transition and I'll do something about it. But it's one way of making sure that nimewapatia cabinet. So you'll move around the country with Raila's daughter. Probably that is the person that will be in the campaign trail. The person, Raila's daughter, Raila's son, will be the campaign trail. I think we cannot be that desperate for the vote that want to drag the minors into that politics. If you ask me kama basi kuna mtu apea basi wapatie Mama Ida. But the fact that cabinet slots are given based on some basis, such basis, tells it, is it really for delivery or their political tools? That you can say, you come, politically we sit right, you can this bring on table, you take this slot. Politically you can bring this on. I think that then, what is the essence of that cabinet? Now, it complicates Raila's succession plan. And I want to explain this by saying, succession must not happen because it might not be possible. Yeah, it might not be possible. I was having some discussion by one of us about whether Ruto can take a running mate from Nyanza. I did not see. There's no running mate from Nyanza. You cannot go for the bad who is shouting. You cannot go for the shouting bad. Because let me tell you, Badi cannot give Ruto votes in my village. Badi cannot roar in Siaya. You cannot go to Sianteko Orengo. Orengo will not get you votes in Kakamega. Will not even get you votes in Migori. Raila was the person who will get you votes across all those places. You cannot even go and take the parroting Wanga. Wanga is, even the people feel she behaved so immaturely about the issue of Kahiga. Wanga cannot whip Luo Nation. Wanga cannot whip Kisumu. She cannot whip even Homa Bay. Because she's going to face very stiff competition from Yugi Magwanga and Evans Kidero. A realignment politically for political stability might not really translate to efficiency due to patronage. The president had an opportunity to weed out UD sympathizers who are in cabinet. People who felt they are cabinet because they're entitled, they campaigned. He left some of them. He had that opportunity in 2024. He left some of them. If you still 2 years to the general election, where you need to show the country what you've done, you still want to bring people who will feel entitled. So you go for Gideon Moi, hey, that is still another Aisha Jumwa that you brought there, who is there because he's entitled. I was supposed to be Baringo senator. So I'm not a cabinet by just that. I am in it, I'm part. It's just the theory of shareholding. Tilting cabinet axis is to fashion the new structure of government, to create some shape, to provide some profiles so that when you are, and it's part of the coalition building, in 2027, people are supposed to get comfort. So that by that time we'll start saying, Badi, you remain, you ODM, I'm giving you the 3 slots. You, Gideon, you will be number 4 after, after Musalia. It is just part of that. And that begs the question that I'm asking. What should really trigger a cabinet reshuffle?